Hello all, this is the exam review for exam 2. So let me go ahead and start with this to kind of give you a sense of points. This one is 55 questions, 100 points. Obviously some questions are worth more points. Those that are worth more points are in red. So generally speaking, let me make this a little bigger for you guys actually. There we go. So when I say first one, characteristics of protists, fungi, and helminths, very, very general. There's going to be a question or two basically testing whether you can distinguish a fungi from a helminth from a protist. You don't need to go crazy into their reproductive cycles or anything like that. Just how they differ fundamentally in structure, what they eat, but fundamentally how they reproduce. I don't need details of every single stage. That's pretty fundamental stuff. Obviously, eukaryotic organelles, you're going to want to watch my lectures on that. That's more, I guess, just memorization, but the good news is for a lot of you that you've had that before in fundamental courses. There are a few weird questions that just are part of the syllabus, and I'm not sure why to a degree, but these two. Literally histones, one question on it, just know what it is. Not really directly related to this class, but still on the syllabus, so I have to ask it. And the other one is just know that Plasmodium is the cause of malaria, just another random weird thing. But again, a lot of the points, viruses, there's going to be a fair amount of points on that, understanding the difference between how they reproduce. You definitely want to know the difference between animal viruses and bacteriophages. And remember, the animal viruses are viruses that attack basically eukaryotes. I just call it animal viruses. It just makes more sense that way. And then there's obviously viruses that attack bacteria called bacteriophages, and they reproduce a different way. So you want to definitely make sure that you know the difference between that, as well as be able to know the difference between the lytic and the lysogenic cycle of bacteriophages. And I have an ed puzzle on that. I have an ed puzzle on almost all these. So osmosis stuff, again, you definitely want to make sure that you think you know this, you've probably had this before, but really understand the mechanism of movement. It's very important that you get how this works and be able to distinguish different areas of being hypertonic versus hypotonic. And by the way, in this case, if you see the word hypotonic, it's the same as hypoosmotic. Use them interchangeably. And then, of course, bacterial growth model, I'm going to show you an actual test question on that so you know what that curve looks like. So let me move now to the actual exam. This is a gift question. This is basically one of the ways that I can curve the exam by just showing you a question or two from it. You may have seen this before, and one thing I like to pride myself on is that my exam study guides and my preparations directly align to my exam, so just know what I want you to know. So you'll have to take these different terms and obviously put them wherever they might go. So you're going to see a question like that. This is one of the questions about osmosis, and I really like it. Because these types of questions that I have really test your conceptual understanding of this, not necessarily a definition. So in this case, like under what conditions would the cell wall prevent a cell from bursting? Like why would it want to burst? This question straight up tackles your understanding of this. And I also show this one because in the word conditions, it's obviously referring to the environment around the cell, not in it. So in this case, it's going to be what environmental conditions would cause, would this cell wall prevent the cell from bursting? So there's another one for you. And the last question here that I'm going to show you is this one, which is, again, another kind of, do you understand what's going on? It's a certain scenario of a culture being incubated in certain conditions, and what would be the term used for the species based on how it grew in the term before it. So these are all, again, conceptual. So I wanted to just give you an overall sense of what you're going to be seeing and the kinds of questions that'll be worth the most points. So if you have any questions, let me know.